Hey, yo.
Oh,
There we go. So I just went ahead and I just immediately pressed record, Danny, if I'm being honest, because today was a very long day at work. And I know that you and I both have lots of things to get done tonight slash tomorrow. So, I figured let's just hop basically straight into it. But first,
fair.
yeah. But first, how are you doing today? I
I'm
should ask that.
good. You're doing well.
That is good to hear. How have your streams been? I'm just doing this while I'm unlacing my boots.
Oh, it's been nice. It's been fun lately.
That's fair. I saw you doing some more streams. I apologize for not being able to stop by. My injury kind of prevented me from being able to sit in my chair and literally do anything.
That is totally understandable.
Yeah. So and I should preface this. There's a reason why I didn't do any of the when we talked last. For those of you in YouTube land, the last time we talked, I said that Danny and I were going to try and do something on Friday to like, hey, even though there's no TWAB, we were going to do something, blah blah blah. First week we're like, fuck it, we're just going to skip this Friday. Obviously it's going to be Christmas weekend, nobody's going to be available. It's fine, it's whatever. The week after is where things became a problem because Friday I was like, all right, I'm all prepped, ready to go, and then Friday night I injured my back and we never ended up doing anything. And then for the past week, I have just been a hot garbage mess. So yeah, that's why there's been no content the past like 2 weeks on my channel. So I'm sorry about that. But without further ado, you ready to just go ahead and hop into it, Danny? All right. This week at Bungie. Also, I apologize, chat. It's at night. It is roughly about 9 o'clock, just shy of 9 o'clock my time. So I'm looking a little extra crispy. So surprisingly enough, actually, Danny, there's not too many like things that are very, very important, but there's a lot of like key notes in this TWAB.
There's some important things to keep track of, and some fairly big changes really soon.
Yeah, so going over this, first things first, is that Grandmaster Nightfalls is going to be starting. That playlist will be starting January 17th. Iron Banner will come back January 31st, and the final week of Season 19 will be February 21st. Very important to note. Along with that, there are going to be Grandmaster updates. They are decreasing the power level needed to enter Grandmasters by 25 to 1580, the powerful cap. So, that is the breaking point. That is the hard cap. You can technically get higher, but it's going to take a lot of grinding too, which is very interesting that they're putting the lowest cap at 1580. Which to me is, I'm not gonna lie, is kind of wild if you think about it, Danny.
Like, they have opened up GMs to more players.
Yeah, because you can't even get into a Grandmaster Nightfall unless your gear is 1580 or above. And
Yeah,
that is with artifact though, correct? That is with artifact levels.
your max level is still going to be, as I said, in that 25 below. So right now it's 1610, I think,
It might
is what
be.
you can get with just gear
Yeah,
and the artifact.
yeah. The artifact covers the rest. They decreased the overall power level of Grandmaster activities by 10 to 1620, so it was 1630 originally.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
which is most people like 50 to 40, and it's not that big of a change. 10 points is a lot of difference. 10 points, 10 light levels is a huge difference in power spike. Hell,
especially in GMs.
yeah, hell, I would even argue that a 5 light level power spike is pretty important. Cuz at 10, you're not doing shit. Like you're just not damaging anybody at that point, right?
And GMs with their extreme amount of champions makes that a little bit more painful.
Exactly, yeah. And then the current power difference of minus 25, all enemies are at least 25 power above you, is still in effect. So overall, they made it a little bit easier for the casual player to get into Grandmaster Nightfalls, which Danny and I are kind of here for. Again, as people who represent the casual community very well, and or at least I would like to think that we represent the casual community fairly well. This is honestly, in my opinion, a great change. If you still want to be a sweat lord in PVE, then yeah, continue to be a sweat lord in PVE. Nothing's stopping you. But it's nice to see them do a little bit more casual, give players a little bit more casual experience getting into Grandmaster Nightfalls, especially because we're prepping to get into Lightfall. So
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's super important. Um, and then the little thing here basically just says you can enter at 1580, just don't be a head ass, um, because enemies are going to be 40 levels above you, and that shit's going to suck.
Oh yeah. They will kill you.
Yeah, they will fucking murder you. Iron Banner. Iron Banner returns January 31st. They're also increasing the amount of Iron Banner rank you can earn at the end of matches. You can also get more by wearing Iron Banner gear, which honestly, some of the Iron Banner gear is actually pretty solid. You can get some pretty decent rolls. Additionally, a lot of the Iron Banner weapons that have come out previously, pretty solid. What was that hand cannon that came out last season, Danny?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about, and I
The
can
one
never
with the
remember its
one with
name.
skulking wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gun is phenomenal. Frontier something. Frontier's
Frontier
Cry.
Cry.
Yeah, Frontier's Cry. Uh, Phenomenal gun. But yeah, I think the Iron Banner gear is pretty solid. Uh, I think this is arguably probably. I would actually argue that this might be the most important piece of all. The mod section. What do you think, Danny?
This is the most important thing because it also means, as they're alluding to, get ready for build crafting to change in Lightfall.
I'm actually really excited for a overhaul. Um, I'm actually very excited for a mod overhaul, and here's why. Apologize. I just got back from work and I am mad gross. So I theorize that they're going to be reworking a lot of the mods, and they're going to be changing a lot of the stats on the mods when Lightfall drops. Because for those of you that are unaware, there have been a lot of changes to mods in the past 2 years. Primarily, the nerfing of Warmind cells and the absolute Giga Chad buffing of Elemental Wells has basically shifted both of those sides into complete opposite directions. And I think in Lightfall, they're going to reset a lot of it to base numbers, and they're going to make sure that every build is going to be a little bit more viable. Because I get that Warmind was powerful, but they nerfed Warmind so hard and they buffed Elemental Wells so much that I don't think it even makes a difference anymore.
It really doesn't. The only things that I feel like are still mostly relevant are like the cellular suppression mod
Mm-hmm.
and like just the free damage from the cells exploding.
Yeah, and plus, and this is something that I want to talk about is subclass 3.0 is a lot of the mods that we used to get as artifact mods are now built into the new light subclasses.
Yep.
Like, for example, players have asked for a void based bullet for the longest time, like all the way through, Beyond Light, and then we got volatile rounds in the Witch Queen.
Really good.
Phenomenal. Um, we got suppression for void. We got jolt, for arc, and we got
Also pretty good.
burn for solar. And then stasis is stasis. But a lot with all of the new fragments and how they work now that the subclasses are more lined up with how stasis was on release. It actually gives them, I think, a little bit more options into how they can make even crazier mods for gear and for weapons. And
Yeah.
I'm here for that because remember, if you remember correctly, Danny, um, didn't they state that they were going to be changing a lot of the damage mods? For example, Rampage, they're just outright buffing Rampage and getting rid of the spec and just increasing
Yeah.
the time that Rampage
They
has.
they removed all of the spec mods
Yeah,
and just put that into the base perk.
Yeah,
itself on the weapons.
and that was a solid like what, like 7, 8 weapon mods.
Yeah,
Yeah, which means there's now 7 to 8 weapon mods that could be completely different. Um, something that I would love to see is them to take off champion mods on arms and put the champion mods on the actual guns themselves.
that would be very nice and would free up the armor for more options with build crafting.
Yeah, because here's the issue. Everybody knows that you have to have champion mods. Like you can't run certain events or certain activities without champion mods, right? Like you can't run a Grandmaster Nightfall without having champion mods on. It is
Yeah.
almost nearly impossible to do because of how difficult it is. So I would
You don't
love to
stun those champions, they will kill you.
agreed. I would love to see them just put outright mods. Um so either you can just have the mods and you can put them on any guns you want, or every season they rotate them out, and but they specifically say like in the TWABs, be like, hey, by the way, you can put this mod on this auto rifle now, which you couldn't do last season. So like for example, one season they could do like, oh, auto rifles are now going to have unstoppable after a brief time after firing, right? Like you get through like 4 or 5 bullets, then the next one, then the unstoppable shot comes up, and then you just fill up the rest of your clip again. Um, and then the next season, it's like, hey, we're swapping out unstoppable for all auto rifles, but we'll give you anti-barrier rounds instead. And I think the best way to balance that would be to specifically for exotics that have intrinsic perks, to allow them to continue to just have those intrinsic perks
Yeah.
and just not being able to put those mods on. Because again, exotic weapons are broken for a reason. There's a reason why they're exotics, and you can only have one in a slot.
I think it like generally, if they're gonna continue to commit to the champions, it would be nice to just have mods all the time to deal with those champions.
Yeah, because having the seasonal artifact mod is, in my opinion, it's a giant pain in the ass. Because a lot of players prep before a new season because they'll load up on bounties, they'll get through the first part of the season, like get through the first 10 to 25 levels, they'll get all of the artifacts that they need, and then but they're stuck on using that specific weapon. Like for example,
Yeah,
this season auto rifles were what? Overload?
yeah. That seems to be like it
And how many
bounces
times do they
between
not
the
want
two.
to work?
It's because of all the enemies they decided to make overloads. One of them, fallen captains.
The
The
other,
worst possible thing for overload.
yeah, let's give overloading champions a fucking blink. Yeah, that's a great idea. So I think that they should add just a champion mods onto the weapons themselves, because now it goes, okay, do I swap the mod out for PvE, or do I have two weapons on myself on my inventory, one for PvE and one for PvP? Because it makes you think, okay, now I need to figure out what kind of space do I need for that, and I think that's fine. So,
The
but yeah,
other thing,
I think this
the
is a
other thing,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The other thing that I would like to see them do is how certain armor mods are tied to elements on your armor.
Yes,
It would be real great if they got rid of that.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Because there are some
It's too
there are
much.
some mods that are really fucking good.
They're just tied to really bad elements tied to armor.
Yeah, please free our mods, Bungie. All right. Before we make this an hour-long episode, let's move on to stay focused. Starting next week, we're making the following changes to the cost of focusing weapons and armor. This is also, I think, relatively important. Focusing costs for all Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, Crucible, and Gambit weapons will be reduced to 25 legendary shards, down from 50. Adept weapon focus costs will also be reduced to 50, down from 250. And the glimmer cost of focusing regular ritual weapons has been reduced to 5,000 from 10 grand. That is fucking huge.
Yep, that is way more approachable for new players.
Yeah, and especially because I think that they're doing this to get players into Destiny before Lightfall, so that way people, when they get to Lightfall, they are actually prepped for Lightfall. Because for those of you that have been here for a while for Trials of Casuals podcast, you know that they did state that they would be bringing back the legendary campaign for Lightfall as they did in Witch Queen, which Danny and I will be playing through. Because Witch Queen Legendary actually felt like a fucking challenge, and it was phenomenal.
Fun. It was actually fun.
Oh my god, the amount of times we've wiped actually in the Legendary campaign is actually ridiculous. But 100% agreed. I think it is most definitely worth it. Um, so you can try them out, and then you can try them out for the rest of the season, as it says here, and then you can also do the Iron Banner ones for with Lord Saladin when he returns on January 31st when Iron Banner comes back. Now, here's something that is a little bit interesting and more of like a more of something to the community, which is the pet the dog emote, I believe, correct? Or no, this is the pet the dog for the current season, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it is in fact the goodest boy, and it is the guardian being able to pet Archangel, the puppers.
Getting a little peek behind the scenes as to how they make some of the stuff work.
Yeah, and funnily enough, this does actually not take me to YouTube, so I can actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to zoom out here, so check. Oh, God! There we go. I'm going to zoom out here, and I'm going to play a little bit of this, so that way you can see the actual full-on animation of what it looks like. So yeah, that is actually how it is done. So they have actually showed like how the motions work, which I think is super fucking dope because we can all agree Archangel is the goodest boy or girl.
Robodog.
Robodog, the goodest Robodog.
I still find it funny that the test guardian is using no time to explain one of the Europa weapons and wearing Season of the Hunt armor.
Yeah, very weird. Now, we're gonna. I think we could just go ahead and skip over the Bungie store update because this only applies to their real life store, and none of it really matters. So we're gonna skip that. Player support report. We're skipping Stadia. Don't turn off
Dead.
cross save. It's done.
Stadia's gone.
Stop.
Officially, no more.
Deleted off of planet Earth. Now here's all the bugs, and God, there's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah, there are.
The push the objective Crucible bounty gains progress inconsistently between game modes. Players may be unable to crouch after acquiring the first scanner augment of the Operation Seraph's Shield exotic mission. This can be resolved by entering and exiting a menu or remapping keys. Players who do not own Beyond Light are unable to reach the security drone above the ziggurat on Europa, preventing completion of the Seraph title. New Iron Banner armor does not count for progress toward the Ganora's Seal Triumph required for the Iron Banner title. High Mind Complex gauntlets display floating pieces of the armor when equipped on a feminine character model. Kills using the Hierarchy of Needs. Exotic Bow will display a submachine gun icon in the kill feed. We are investigating an increase in centipede error codes, and players who are granted access to armor mods in yesterday's patch will not have them appear as unlocked in collections. They can still use them freely in their armor.
Hierarchy of Needs one's just funny. That one's just funny.
Yeah, imagine getting shot once, you're like, damn, that's a strong machine gun. Also, what exactly are the centipede error codes, Danny?
I get them every time that I log in occasionally. Just attempt to do it again and it's fine. They're annoying.
It's just a login. It's just a login. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to skip over the movies as per usual, but to give credit to those who did them, Deus Twitch CL made one, and I believe this is Average Maddie making Ace Episode 1, a fan-made Destiny series. And then it's time for artwork. The Good Boy, Stacy Blepp, Good Boy Protocol, and that is a phenomenal picture. Is that Elsie?
I I'm not entirely sure, but it's really good art.
Either that or that's their guardian, their Exo Guardian. But that's phenomenal art. Well done. That is amazing. I love that. The Soul Theta. Look, we're wearing the same hat, and it's the Guardian with the worm. That is a
Good.
phenomenal fucking meme. Oh my god. And fucking Sabathoon's like, what? That's a solid ass meme, chat. That's a good meme.
Good.
Uh and that's it for all of this for this TWAB. Um so we don't have a lot of time before Lightfall launches, but still a lot to cover. So they're going to be bringing more next week. Now, uh, here's something to discuss real quick for a moment. Uh, Danny, my shop has just now changed schedules. I am now only working Fridays and Saturdays because we no longer are open Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday.
Nice.
So, hear me out. How would you feel about doing Trials of Casuals starting on Thursday nights from now on? At
Do
least
that.
until our schedules get changed.
Yeah, we can do that for Thursday nights.
Yeah. And what we could do honestly is if you want, we could do D2 all we could do D2 all day, and then when we see the TWAB pop up, we'll literally just go to TWAB mode, finish TWAB mode, go back to streaming D2 on Thursday. Thoughts?
I could definitely do it at night.
Okay. Then let's shoot then we'll probably start doing Trials of Casuals podcast on Thursday nights, at least until I figure out what the hell is going on with my shop schedule. Cuz they
Fair.
like massively cut everybody's hours by like half. So it was a little rough for everyone this week. So yeah, let's plan on starting up next Thursday. With that being said, Danny, uh, what do you think about this TWAB? Because it's not really like buffs or nerfs; it's just more of like information.
I am very interested in the way that they've worded specifically about the mods. Them giving everyone all the armor mods, aside from raid and raid specific mods. That's pretty big.
I would agree.
So I would look for them to make some pretty serious changes to build crafting. Will be interesting.
I'm also kind of with you on that. I think that mods have been very stale for a while, other than the occasional artifact mod, which becomes OP busted. Please nerf Bungie, um, because it just makes shit so trivial. Um, like, what was that one when Void got reworked? Void 3.0. That one mod that was like, yeah, your volatile rounds, now suppress.
I forget which one it was.
It was one of the last ones in the last column, but I remember getting that and having a gnawing hunger, with Nezarek Sin on. Um, holy fucking balls.
And a general consensus is still that Void 3.0 is probably the best.
I think so. Here's my thoughts on Void 3.0. Is I think they made a lot of quality of life changes. The only character that I think really made out of Void 3.0, even remotely edging above the rest, would be Warlock.
Oh yeah,
Because
Warlock.
here's the issue that I have though, is Solar and Arc absolutely shit on Warlock. They were absolute garbage for Warlock, and both Hunters and Titans got the benefits from Arc and Solar, whereas Warlock really only got benefits from Void. And to put in perspective, Void is still good on Hunter and Titan.
Oh yeah.
It's still good. But like, it's so in my opinion, other than Void Warlock builds have been just fucked on recently.
It's
Um,
like solar. If
they
you intend to like spam grenades, it's doable.
yeah, but
Art
you
is
have to run such specific gear for it too.
yeah. Arc is just add clear.
It's not even good ad clear.
Jolt is pretty strong.
Yeah, but like the hunters and the titans use it so much better.
Hey, Titans got the benefit of all three.
Yeah,
They just got a net gain on all
yeah.
three.
I will say so. Hunter definitely got a major boost in solar. Warlock solar was definitely a nerf.
Oh yeah.
And then solar. Oh god, solar titan. Oh my fucking god, impossible to fucking kill.
Yeah, so Solar Titan is a little
They
ridiculous.
can make
Like,
their own wells. That is so dumb. Just do the Warlock's class, but better. Fuck me. Oh my god. Fucking
like,
hell.
literally the only thing that the Titan couldn't do was heal allies. That's literally it.
Yeah.
You're doing solo content, the Titan is like nigh unkillable. Kind of gross.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's going to be it for us today. Uh so other than that, um Danny, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube under the same name.
You can also find me on Twitch and YouTube at DominiFox or on Twitter at DominiFox1. Danny and I both appreciate everyone coming in to watch the relatively short episode today, uh, or if you're seeing this later on, whenever you are watching it. We will be back hopefully by next Thursday night, and maybe we could try to stream it. Um, but with that being said, thank you all so much for stopping by. We all really appreciate it. We hope you have a wonderful day. Uh, and as always, don't be a sweat lord. We'll catch you guys next time.